Hey guys, today we're going to be reviewing Bad Batch Season 1. This is a Star Wars animated series, and it follows the group that was introduced in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch. Now, this consists of Hunter, Tech, Echo from, who's actually a previous clone from Clone Wars, if you've seen Clone Wars. Now, I know a lot of people have found it hard to start the Bad Batch because they're not used to it being animated. Obviously, everyone's preferred sort of type of Star Wars is live action, right? Because that's what we've always had. So yeah, they took a big chance with Clone Wars, which was a micro series at first before it was massive, and a lot of a wider audience got to love the Clone Wars that we saw from Dave Filoni. There was a micro series before that, which allowed the major Clone Wars series to start, which was great. So yeah, a lot of people have found it hard to start the Bad Batch, and I've got to be honest, it is a step down from the Clone Wars in my opinion. Now, I won't compare it to the whole of Clone Wars because I think that's unfair. The whole of Clone Wars was done with George Lucas in a time where Disney was not involved, but I will compare it to Season 7 of the Clone Wars, which was handled by Disney as a send-off to that show that it deserved, because Season 6, it got cancelled and they left it at a place that wasn't a great ending for that show. So yeah, I'm going to compare it to Season 7 of the Clone Wars. So a lot of things carry over that you can tell is something Dave Filoni really needs to work on, because as much as I love the guy and he is great, he should be where he is at Star Wars, because his general knowledge of Star Wars is just insane, and you can see that he knows his stuff and he knows the actual moral of Star Wars. And Star Wars has a certain feeling that you can't buy that. It's literally, if you know Star Wars and you're a creator, it has to have that Star Wars feeling, otherwise it doesn't hit. Look at The Last Jedi, look at The Rise of Skywalker. Two examples of someone that really doesn't understand Star Wars. And The Force Awakens works for me. I love The Force Awakens. But you can argue that it was very blatantly a copy of A New Hope. And maybe that's what he was going for at the time. But we know now that there was no overall plan. So, I don't know. The sequels are, for me, literally, that is the definition of, if you don't understand Star Wars and you have to make a Star Wars project, that's what it comes out as, and it's appalling. So yeah, no, I think Dave Filoni really does understand Star Wars, but he needs to understand that the fans' expectations of these shows are, yes, have a good time and be entertained, but it has to have a payoff. And I get that it's getting a Season 2, which we found out recently, but there's so many Sid missions in between the start and the finish that are just so pointless and a waste of time. This series really didn't need to be, 14 episodes? It could have been 7, 6. This should have been maximum of 10 episodes. Like, there was no need for the rest. Now, I will say this. The best episode of this show is the first episode, which is actually in a way a shame, because that should be what gets you hyped for the rest of the show. The pilot should be like, wow, this is what we've got for another 10 or so episodes, and really get you engaged and hooked on the show. But after Season 1, Episode 1, it gradually goes down. It's like the best episode, like 10 out of 10 episode, goes to a 9, goes to an 8, goes to a 7, until we eventually just get consistent 4s and 3s, and it's a shame. Cad Bane, the episode where they introduced Cad Bane, saves the show. Because if that episode wasn't there and it was another Sid mission, I might have switched off. And I'm a Star Wars fan. I will watch anything Star Wars. So yeah, that Cad Bane episode saved me and really made me continue to watch the show, which lasted for like 2 or 3 episodes. Those gradually fizzled out for me as well. Then they sort of just left this character at nowhere. Fennec Sham was here from Mando, which was really cool to see. She's great. Seemed a bit overpowered, and by a bit, I mean a lot. Wrecker is a mutated clone. By the way, a normal clone is Jango Fett, a clone of Jango Fett, who is one of the most notorious bounty hunters out there. So a normal clone, should he be able to put up a fight against Fennec Shand? Let alone a mutated Hulk version of that. And Fennec Shand goes head to head with him and beats him in what, 2 seconds? Like, it needs to be consistent with its characters, because there's so many times in Clone Wars Season 7 where we see them take out 12 billion, like, droids, and I get that they're droids, I get that. But Fennec Shand, she can win, but have the fight mean something and be longer so I can buy how good Fennec Shand is, because Fennec Shand in Mando is a well-developed, great female character that I can look at and go, she is cool. Like, she earns her place as a badass for women characters in Star Wars. Whereas someone like Rey, this topic's been beaten to death, but Rey was treated as like the golden child. Just didn't have any problems in the world, got to literally just stroll through those films without being hurt or whatever. No hero's journey. Fennec Shand, although we haven't seen a hero's journey, she is a side character, so she didn't need that in those Mando episodes. But we saw how good she was, and that she didn't win just because she was supposed to win. She put in the work, we saw the moves, whereas here it's literally 2 seconds and she's beat Wrecker, a mutated Jango Fett clone. It's not believable. But that's a minor thing, that's like 1 episode, so yeah. Cad Bane saves the show for me. Then you continue watching. There's a cool infiltration episode. Now, I hate, and I mean this, and I'm sorry for all of you that love it, but I hate Star Wars Rebels. It is the definition of a horrible sequel. If you're looking at that as a sequel to Clone Wars, it is that bad. It's like a 3 or 2 out of 10. The only good episodes in that show is when it references stuff that happened in Clone Wars. The Darth Maul stuff, great. The Rex stuff, alright. The Mortis stuff, excellent. All stuff from Clone Wars. Now, this is the thing with Rebels. It's more aimed at kids, and you can see that, and that's fine. It's not made for me, that's fair enough. But Clone Wars was loved by kids and adults just as much. And I know a lot of people love Rebels, but you've got to be a blind man to not see that Clone Wars trumps it in every single way. And it has a bigger fan base than Rebels. That is a fact. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Rebels, and in The Bad Batch, they spend 3 episodes, pointless episodes, have nothing to do with anything, just for those Rebels fans, to please them. Fair enough, that's fine, you can do that, because if I was a fan of Rebels, I would have sat here and gone, oh, they brought in even forgot her name, Kanan's girl in Rebels. I forgot her name. Is it? No, Sabine's the other one. I'm being stupid, but she, they cross her over, and if I was a fan of Rebels, I'd be going, yeah, this is cool, thank you. I'd love to see, I always said I'd love to see what these characters grew up as and how they became what they were in Rebels. I'd be saying all of that. I couldn't care less, because that show is bad. So yeah, other than that, I think those episodes really did turn me off, but yeah, the rest of the season is fine. It's fine. Now, I need to talk about this finale. The finale is the complete opposite. If you could contrast this finale to the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2, it's the complete opposite, and it's such a shame, because you've proved that you know how important a finale is, and that you need to stick the landing. If a season is a gymnastics move, the landing counts. It really does. It can lose or make your show. And this finale was just so average. It was just so safe. Nothing happens. It's literally, they took no risks. There was no interesting cameos. There was nothing to get you excited for season 2. We saw that Camino was getting blasted to smithereens in the previous episode. So what is this episode? Well, they stroll about Camino trying to find an escape. Omega gets herself into even more trouble. Omega, by the way, this season, it's so weird because some episodes you love her and some episodes you really want her to actually die. Because she causes the most problems in this show. More than the Empire caused problems for the Bad Batch. She causes more problems for the Bad Batch. Just stupid. I kid you not. In this finale, I'm not joking. She breaks free as they're rising to the surface of Camino, trying to escape. That is their number one priority. She goes down to save a droid. This isn't no R2-D2 droid. This is a medical droid. For no reason. Literally no reason. And it's literally carrying her to the depths of Camino. And she's gonna die. Like, you've got to try and make me like your character. Don't do stupid stuff like that. I get that she's a kid or whatever, except she's not, because we learn in this episode that she's actually older than the Bad Batch. So there's no excuses. She's just stupid, a stupid character. They were playing around with her. She was good, she was bad, she was annoying, she wasn't. But they ended the season with a bad taste in my mouth. With my overall consensus is that she is not a good character. She is just a problem maker for this show. So yeah, Omega is not, she's not good at the moment. They can fix her in season 2 and I hope they do. But yeah, if it wasn't for Crosshair, I believe that's his name, who by the way is probably the best character in this show. I'm trying to think because I really like Hunter, but that's because he's like a Rambo type character. He's quite fun, but I don't know. I think Crosshair might have the most complex story, and I really hope they follow it up well in season 2, because where it's left here, he's just standing on Camino, like waiting for someone to pick him up when there's no way they can because they just left. So where does his story go from here? But yeah, Crosshair's mindset is really weird because they play on this whole thing of, oh, we have chips, oh, we finally found out the Bad Batch separated from Crosshair, he's with the Empire, they're not. They figure out that they need to get his inhibitor chip out because they've got theirs out, and they think, oh, that must be why he's still with the Empire. But a great twist that I didn't see coming, because it's a really interesting twist, is what if that chip was removed, but their mindset was still the same? I think that's a great original idea from Dave Filoni there. I just wish that was focused on more. You have these characters. Why are we following Sid on pointless side missions? Like, that's the stuff that annoys me. But that is a really cool original idea. And to play on it, that he has had it removed and his mindset's still the same, is just interesting. Now, they've left it at a place where I'm sort of, did he lie about getting that inhibitor chip or not? Like, they left it at a place of uncertainty, so you never know. But yeah, the way they left it, I'm interested about his character, and I'm intrigued to know what he becomes, because I don't know where his story could end, because obviously he wasn't made yet, so we don't hear of him later on. So I'd love to know how his character arc ends. I think he will eventually turn good and Vader or Tarkin will kill him or something like that, but that's just my guess. So overall, I need to give this is the thing, this is the hard bit, the rating, because this has about 3 10 out of 10 episodes in a 14 episode show. The majority, like 60% of this show is pointless. Maybe less, maybe half. There's definitely 6 episodes here that don't need to be there. 6 episodes that are 5 and below. But then the 10s are high, so... And the finale isn't bad. It's like a 6, but it's just not a finale. So I'm going to give The Bad Batch season 1 a 6 out of 10. And that is generous. That is very generous. And I give it a 6 out of 10 because I trust that Dave Filoni will pay off in season 2. And I know that shouldn't be how I rate season 1, but I have faith. Because these characters, at the end of the day, are interesting. The story can be interesting. We've seen that it can be interesting. Just lose all of the... Oh yeah, and that's another thing. There's a blatant trait with Disney Star Wars that Dave Filoni, as much as I love him, you got to give criticism where it's due. Stop having the same story of, oh, the ship broke down, we need to go fix it. Oh, side mission. Oh wait, the ship needs to get another part added to it. Oh, we need to go here. Side mission. It's very obvious and lazy. That is lazy writing. Just have a story, plan a story out, because I'm not lying to you. You do not need to have the ship break down 12 different times in order to make a compelling story. So yeah, they need to stop with the side missions and just crack on with the main plot. That really, because that main plot can be very engaging. So yeah, that's all I have to say on The Bad Batch. There were times that I've enjoyed. I'm glad I watched it because there are episodes that are great. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.